Yeah, that's I'm just talking about myself and our diaspora, right? And that where our focus was like switch to job. You know, we hardly read all news which were in Ukraine because there were so big intense over there. But we need to know about it, and I think you, as a representatives of our diaspora, should reach us, and then we'll reach our channels and see, check, you know, because as a on the private level, also from the city of Ternopil, where we have a medical institutions like university, where we have a lot of students from abroad, and I haven't heard any case from there. Of course, I will call and ask if it was there, but yeah. It should be, checked.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot about the collaboration between the different diaspora working in the same situation, right? And I think I see that in other places as well. There are different types of diaspora groups working in the same place. And here's where I think the coordination and collaboration is so key. My dears, we are coming to the end of our day, and I think we could ask more questions, but I also know that you are waiting to also go out tonight. So I just want to bring it to a close and say thank you so much to my panelists. Glenn? Please.
Yeah,
oh,
no.
yes, sorry. Oh, okay, Glenn.
No, just on the, I think on the, quickly on the decolonization of aid, I think that, yeah, I think we all recognize that the humanitarian system has this certain colonial, approach that still prevails despite the localization, agenda. But, all the studies show that the international actors are very slow to move on localization, sharing finance, because it's all about sharing. But sharing means you have to give something up, right? So that's difficult for many of the international actors. And I think what I've seen in the research, of course, is certainly what the diaspora organizations shouldn't feel that they have to reproduce or replicate what the international organizations look like and act like. I think that's key, because we do have cases where we hear, directly from the affected population when I've been involved, where they say, well, now, we don't have international organization, we have this local actor, but they're just behaving like an international NGO. I think that's the thing, the diaspora organizations, should still keep that closeness to the communities, and I think that's key.
I think it's often the case, and I hear that a lot, right? How do you retain your identity? Because that's the value that you bring, and that you don't become like INGOs or the UN, because then you lose your value in the system. And we were talking about the diversity. If that's what you bring as diversity, then you lose it. It's a bit sad. So on that note, thank you very much, Glenn and Roberta and Adri and Ahmed. Thank you so much for your interventions and your contribution. And thank you for the panelists. And also your active participation today, because I think it's been really great in the panels, also in the afternoon and now. So we can...
Can we give a special clap to our moderator? Not like that. Can you do all this? Can you warm up with your hands? Then one big clap.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. So what I wanted to do is, please keep seated, because I wanted to invite Fadi here to make the kind of thank you and end speech. And he's been, I think, a real kind of, I would say, a key person and a pillar in terms of taking some of these, and been involved from quite a long time with DEMAC as well. So Fadi, please, floor is yours. Share with us.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I think Samruti, you made my job really difficult here. With the way you presented, so thank you so much. First of all, dear humanitarians, I call you friends even. On behalf of the DEMAC's Advisory Board, I would like to thank each and every one, and the Secretariat team as well. So we'd like to thank you all for sharing your experience and knowledge. And to be honest, I'm so honored and stand humble here in front of you. Having gathered, I think, having shared your experiences with each and every one, we come from different contexts. I know we have similarities between us, some of us, but then we have complementarities with other contexts. The sessions and the panelists, you enlightened us, and some of the discussions were daring, especially when it comes to the humanitarian principles, I think, with our session, which I'll touch on later. We also have, of course, I mean, we heard the trust as one of the key. I think it's a similarity, commonality between all of us. And this is why we are humanitarian. This is why the diaspora are operating in the country of origin. We also heard about access as well. I think this is why it makes us different. But it's often, I mean, I realize when we're talking as diaspora, we're talking about access to funding, and because we don't have access to, we don't have issues with access to the ground, because we take it for granted. We also have, I mean, I picked up on the diaspora being a change. We connect, we bridge, we engage, despite often us being accused of hiding behind foreign agendas, like in Venezuela. We also find, I mean, diaspora, again, we're driven by the impact and results. Hence, I mean, the survey fatigue we talked about earlier, given that the diaspora actually responds and they don't spend time on surveys, which is when I heard last, diaspora should take more survey, we should be doing more, but sometimes it can be tricky reaching a balance. I have to say, Lars, earlier, I mean, you talked about we should change from coordination into cooperation, collaboration, and I think this is a perfect one, and I think we should look at it at the advisory board tomorrow. Yes. Why don't we do more collaboration? I don't know why. I think between us as diaspora, we often compete. We see the competition, we don't see the complementarity. I mean, I have to say, Dr. Hani al-Banna, you inspired us in 2011 and 2012 when you said to the Syrian diaspora, we need to do more collaboration. And we never clicked on it until it's too late. And when it's like, we can't do it anymore. Again, when we talk about the diaspora, I often refer back to the World Humanitarian Summit in 2016 and the localization agenda. Who are we? Are we local NGOs or are we diaspora NGOs? I mean, when you do localization, are they going to come to us or are they going to come to the ground? But again, we said we provide the bridges. When we talk about the capacity building, it's often something we look for and we ask for, but it's often we fall in the trap. If you build the capacity of the staff, it's often the INGOs who would come in and poach our staff. So what we are looking for is the institutional capacity building, I think that was raised earlier. The community empowerment as well, which often we fall into the trap of continuously delivering humanitarian assistance, but what we need to is empowering the community so they sustain themselves. Somebody said, are we falling in for the big boys talks? Should we do more institutionalization of the aid or humanitarian system away from the volunteering system? You would find often if you go into the institutionalization of the assistance, you would get more, better value for money sometimes. With the humanitarian principle, this is the session I attended again. We often being accused as being the extreme humanitarians because we often strict too much into it. But it's often we fall behind and we don't really follow the majority of the humanitarian principles. We put them on the shelf sometimes, so we just pull them out when we need. And this is what we discussed earlier. So for us, in some context, the impartiality, neutrality, and independence are often questioned. but we can always bring them back like Andres, and then we can use them when we need. I'm not going to take long, but I would have to say on behalf of the DEMAC Advisory Board again, I would like to thank Christian Gatt for the opening speech, Fadi for her keynote speech, Daniela via video message. And I would also like to thank the panelists of this first session, Lars, Cynthia, Nick, and Fadi again. Again, thank you to all those who took part in the afternoon sessions, Marie, Nana, Omar, Andreas, Emily, Dina, Andre, Dabaho, Andres, and Mohannad. And also to Glenn, Roberta, Andre, Dabaho for your feedback on the research as well. Let me just say, I mean, I can't go without saying thank you to the DEMAC team, for the Secretariat team, for all your efforts. And to be honest, standing here, I think I was one of the founding members of the DEMAC, and when the idea came on board, I thought, gosh, is it going to work? I never imagined one day we'd be standing here without the commitment from DRC and the DEMAC team. So thank you so much for making it successful. So, Samruti, you made the whole conference is a joy. I mean, it's the first time I feel like the time has gone so quick. So thank you so much, Samruti. And thank you. I'm going to pass on to the DEMAC team. They have a quick presentation. I can do it if you want.
I think.
Thank you.
We would just quickly ask all the panelists maybe to come on stage for a short moment to also give them a clap and a short present. The panelists, please. You're sitting first row, Chris.
Okay. So come up on stage. For making our days very Ada! Who else is? Please. Cynthia. Cynthia. Can you switch off?
A last big round of applause for the panelists and the speaker. Thank you so much. Thank you all very much.
Yes.
So thank you very much for being part of the conference and contributing with your knowledge and experience.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so
Great.
much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very, very last comments, and then you're free to go. Very strategic points. Dinner.
Yeah.
You're all invited to a dinner tonight at 6 p.m. at the Bain des Paquis. It's a very, very nice location. It's actually very informal, so if you also would like to change to a relaxing clothes, you're welcome to do so. There will be a team leaving at 5:30 from this venue here, so if you want to stay here and wait, we will guide you to the venue, which Sarah will be leading behind you at the back on the pink top. And then from the hotel at 5:45, from the Ibis Lake Hotel at 5:45 with Dina and Daria, there will be another team going. But you can also go by yourself if you know where it is. But in case you would like to go as a group, please follow the team. Please keep your badge because there is actually some access issue. There's a checkpoint. You need to. There's actually a fee to go through the bridge. So if you don't want to pay the fee, please keep your badge, and then you won't have to pay the fee. And finally, when you arrive there, the DEMAC team will be on the left. We'll book some tables, and we'll give you a voucher to get a meal and a drink. So just you collect your voucher there, and then the evening will be yours for, and we'll all meet there. So please join. It will be a very nice and relaxing moment after the conference. And we...
Two more things.
Yes.
You're not going yet. I have you as captives. So two things. One is you were given an evaluation form. We would really appreciate it if you can fill those out, because it's really important. And the second thing is for tomorrow, right? For tomorrow, the representatives who are coming together, you come in the same location at 1 o'clock to register, right? So it's in the same location at 1 o'clock. And what can I say? Thank you so much for being great participants, and it's been a pleasure. So it's sad to go, but we're going to get together to party at the bar, right? So thank you very much. Enjoy your dinner.